A little bit when they get to Arkansas and where they rank?
Yeah, I think there'll be a little more thought into it to where we're going to be slotted in there. And again, I know it means nothing when it comes March, but I do think it carries value on October 23rd whenever it comes out. I really do. And I know sometimes we're different in saying that, but I think there is value of some sort in what comes around.
Like having more bodies this year, do you anticipate a deeper rotation or more competition to be in your rotation?
More competition. That's a great question, Brett. More competition for the rotation. I told them I don't see myself changing. I'd like to tell you that maybe I evolve and maybe it happens. If it happens that we play 8 or 10, that'd be fine, but I'm pretty convinced that the top teams, the teams that go deep, have a really tight roster when it comes late February and early March. And they got kicked out of the weight room one time this year, and it's because they were talking about playing time, and it was August. It was August, but they're thinking about it, and I understand. I don't shy away from that. Playing time is what every kid wants to talk about, and then it's shot selection, shot distribution. But I told them flat out, I don't see myself all of a sudden become a 10-12 rotationally deep person. It's going to make the competition. Practice is very important. As a result, we haven't had very many missed practices. They know that if they are missing out on an opportunity in practice, they're missing out on an opportunity to separate themselves. So it's been healthy. It's not been unhealthy. It's been very, very healthy. It's just new for us.
How are you feeling headed into year 3? 3 years flown by for you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't believe we're in year 3. But I am very happy where we're at. I think if you look at a snapshot, I can't predict what's going to happen in year 3. But if you put it on a 3-year snapshot using last year and the first year and whatever happens this year, I would tell you that we're happy with it. Unless we just completely fall off, and I just don't see that happening. But it flew by in a good way. There are days I don't want to go back and relive, but I'm glad we're to the point where this group really does, as long they care about results. And for a long time, it was something we had to really suppress and keep down. And now it's okay, I think, to expect it, and I'm okay with that. And I think they are too. It's still important we keep our standards and we're not a goals team. We're more of a standards and see where those standards will take us type deal. But that being in the debatable 8 last year, I had to explain what RPI meant to Mal. No idea. They didn't know what any of that stuff meant because it hadn't been relative in their world. They know what that stuff means now. They know what a non-conference win at Cal could do for us in March. They've been through it. And I think if you don't talk about it, you can't expect them to understand it. So we're talking about it as we go. It's new things to be talked about. It does add new pressures, but I think that's where you grow a little bit. You get out of that comfort zone that we were in of, being picked as a double-digit team. And we may be surprised next week. We may be one again. This may be wrong, but it does require a different way of thinking about it and a different way of approaching.
I see Avery on the roster.
Yeah.
A local girl. What does she bring to the table?
Exactly what you want your local, walk-on to do. She shows up every single day and competes. And if you look at the stats, she had a 6 for 9 day where she went 6 of 9 from the three-point line. And she knows the offense. She's taking care of her academics. She's a great ambassador for our program. She's everything. She's that check box for what you want that kid to be. And she's not afraid to compete. She sticks her nose right in the middle of all that and pushes the kids that are on scholarship. The scholarship kids don't treat her like she's not on scholarship. But just a breath of fresh air of, that there are still kids out there in this society that we talk about all the time of entitlement that said no to Division I scholarship offers and said, I want to be a Razorback and I want to help. And that carries so much value in so many different aspects of what we're trying to do. So our goal will always be to have somebody like her. We want somebody from the area to know that if they will do what she did as a high school, be a 4.0 student, and she made one time on an ACT test what it took me 2 times to combine my score on. that's the type of kid we will always have room for and a spot for around here.
You've added Chantel to your coaching staff. What's that been like, and what has she kind of brought to the table?
Just a unique perspective, just like how she played. Very, very unique. She wanted to know what I expected out of her when she got here, and I said, I'm not giving you anything. I want you to be you, because she's just got such a clean look of things. She's young. She did it. I can assure you, if I say something and she echoes it, they listen to her over me, because she physically did it, and she did it at a high level, and she did it recently. So I'd tell you that not only her knowledge, not only understanding and of me, but how she can relate that to a player. It's such a fun thing to watch and see. And then there's the personal aspect of it. You know, I've always wanted evidence that we're going to take care of our kids. And I don't think there's any more evidence than when you can hire a kid after her pro career was over. You know, the ball's going to go flat for every one of these. These three behind you will go flat for them one day. But for me to be able to give that back, you know, a kid that said yes when I was a no-name, nobody, they're like, who got the Washington job? She stayed, not only stayed, became an All-American, and, you know, and then she loves Fayetteville. Y'all get a chance to see her. She's a neat kid to be around.
What do you and I talked about Dungy kind of having a chip on her shoulder last year. How does that change this year, and kind of follow that with the team as a whole?
She's going to tell you she hasn't done anything yet. What have we done? We haven't been to a tournament. You know, there's still a lot to do, and that chip can stay there. I think it's a positive thing, but we do understand some things have changed. I don't think she's going to be left off very many preseason watch lists and expectations. She's been mentioned in some of the magazines as an All-American preseason, so you know that's not going to happen again. Everybody learned from that last year. But that doesn't mean we can't push it in practice. Believe me, if you've been at one of these, that's behind us. And now it's got to go out there and let's prove that it wasn't a 2-month fluke. And the expectation, whatever expectation we have for her, hers or higher anyway. So you don't have to worry ever about that being a question.
Mike, you mentioned Aaron, but you haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
So now you can talk about it.
Good. So, you know, Aaron Barnum from Little Rock Central, a very impactful kid when she came on campus. She's a neat story. I'll let her tell it to you. Y'all will dive into it and realize that she's going to – the last chapter of this is going to be really cool. She's a kid that we couldn't guard in practice last year at times. She is an absolute gamer. You might watch down here in practice and go, I don't see it. But I promise you, when the light comes on, it's a different gear. She had her back to the wall with a lot of things, and she overcame those things, and I think there's a lot of value in being able to do that. She's another prideful kid, an offensive weapon that really stretches the floor from that spot. It allows you to move Chelsea to a wing at times, play her out there at the top. You know, I use it, and I say this with all the best intentions. She's got an old man's game. She's got this old man's game at the rec center that she's not going to out-jump you. She's not going to but next thing you know, she's by you and she's scoring, and it's an and one. She probably leads the team in and ones other than Chelsea, because y'all all know they all accuse me of calling too many fouls. All right. But she's probably second, because she's got this slither ability to get away from you. It's not textbook. It's not something you're going to see come out in drills, but she finds a way to get it in the goal. She is a freshman playing-wise, so it's going to take time to adjust to time and speed. But it'll be exciting to see when the lights do come on, if she's able to carry that from being the practice player last year to being a player that's counted on come game time.
One more.
Yep.
Anybody else? Okay.
He said one.